Welcome back to Under the Pink Hat, everyone. I am your host, Tim, as always. And you know what? There was a little bit of a delay for this episode, okay? There was a little bit of time between this episode and the last one, but I was busy. And what was I doing? Well, that is really none of your business, sir. But we're going to talk about a few things that I have watched in the last couple of weeks that I think were pretty cool. We're going to talk about Mortal Kombat 2. We're going to talk about the Punisher One Last Kill. We're going to get into the series finale of Good Omens. I'm going to miss it. I miss my boys. And we're going to talk about the newest trailer for Lanterns coming out on HBO later this year. So we have a lot to talk about. And you're probably wondering, hey, fuckface, why are you not talking about the boys and like their final episodes and the series finale and all that good stuff? You know why? Because that's going to get its own episode. So you have to listen to me yammer on about something even more. How do you like that, buddy? But without further ado, let's get into it and bring these stories to you. So first thing we're going to talk about is Mortal Kombat 2. And if you don't know anything about this movie, have you been under a rock for the last, I don't know, 30 years? Because we all know what Mortal Kombat's about, all right? The general plot, you know, Earth Realm needs saving, and this tournament is what's gonna save it, all that good stuff. But this is a little bit different than the first one, which some things are good, some things are bad, and I'll kind of get into which is which for me in my personal opinion. You can disagree, and that's fine, but you're wrong, and you need to remember that. So this film introduces Johnny Cage, who was played by Carl Urban. He is a very big plot point of this movie. He is very much one of the main stars. So instead of the main character of this one being Cole, like in the last one, it was Cole and like Sub-Zero, I would say were the two like biggest ones. This one is mostly about Johnny Cage and Katana, which the addition of Adeline Rudolph as Katana was really awesome. She fucking nailed this role. Her fight scenes in this movie were honestly the best. I think her and Liu Kang give the best performances in terms of action and fighting and everything in this movie. Not that all the other fight scenes weren't good, because they are a lot of good ones in this movie. Like, this movie, I feel, is like 85% fight scenes or something like that. Like, it's crazy just how much there is, because they don't waste time. They get into it immediately. So it opens up with Shao Kahn. This is in the past, by the way. Spoilers alert. Yeah, there's a lot of spoilers for a movie that came out weeks ago. Deal with it. So Shao Kahn emerges to Adenia years before, when Katana is a little kid, and her father is challenged by Shao Kahn to fight to stop them from taking over the realm, because it's the final Mortal Kombat for them to lose. Otherwise, Shao Kahn's going to take it over. So King Jared fights Shao Kahn and gets absolutely fucking obliterated. And this opening fight was actually really fucking good. Like, it was a pretty good like kickoff to this movie, because it's brutal. It's greatly choreographed. Shao Kahn, who is played by Martin Ford, fucking menacing, man. He's huge. The fucking guy is a tank, bro, and like, he has a really like deep voice, and the dude just nailed Shao Kahn. I don't think there's many actors who could have pulled it off as well as he did. So you know what? Fucking great casting, bud. So yeah, Shao Kahn fucking murders Katana's father, and then takes over the realm, and then Katana kind of grows up being his adopted daughter and hating his fucking guts, because, you know, why wouldn't she? He's kind of a piece of shit. Her mother, Sindel, who we all know from the games as well, was also transformed into like an undead servant who was loyal to Khan. So she doesn't even have her mother anymore. But Katana, you know, she's one of the good guys. We know this from the game. She's chill. She has been actually working for Lord Raiden, because the last thing that her father did before he died was give this like pendant that allows her to communicate and get to like Raiden's temple. So she is feeding him info about what Shao Kahn's up to. So you know what? Good for her. Good for her for standing up and saying, fuck this fucking guy, man. So she initially fights Johnny Cage, who at first is like, hell no, I don't want nothing to do with this. Because we saw it in the trailers where he's a washed up actor. He's not like in the games where he's a major player or anything like that. He's not, the top of his game. He's a washed up actor who isn't even getting people visiting him in line at like a comic book convention. We see like lots of other Warner Brothers properties, like DC kind of stuff showing up there. I think I remember seeing a Zatanna poster or something in the distance. So he's getting no one visiting him. He's washed up. No one cares about his movies anymore. Even say like, somebody's like, oh, they streep with this, and he's like, yeah, nobody cares about the shit. It was washed out in the from the 90s, and he gets brought in. So I'm yammering on here. It's a little bit different in this movie compared to the first one with how people are chosen. Because in the first one, they had the Arcana with like the fucking marking that Cole and Jackson all them have. That gets transferred person to person. They did away with that completely, which, you know what? I was fine with it in the first movie. I understand why they had it. There's a way to kind of explain why some people are chosen, as well as why some people have abilities and normal people don't. I think it was like a fine explanation for that, but they kind of did with it away in this one to kind of make it so people just are the way they are. They even go to Johnny Cage like, how do you learn this? And they're like, it takes lots of practice and you have to train and then it'll come out, which is fine as well. It just, some people have it. You just got to train for it. You have it. It's fine. No real explanation for it. And I think that works as well for this kind of universe anyway. But like I said, we saw it in the trailer where he gets approached by Raiden and Sonya in a parking garage. And then, he shows him the teleport, brings him to Raiden's temple, blah, 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 explains kind of what's going on. And he's not having it, says fuck this, and he gets teleported back to where he was and fucks off. But in this, it's kind of cool. I kind of like how they did it, where instead of like you having to go to a central location and actually travel there before the tournament starts, like they did in the 1995 movie, which, spoiler alert, there's an episode coming out about that I did with Alfie Beat, and it's really fun. So make sure you listen to that when it comes out in a couple of days as well. But it's not like that where they have to go to the island and then that's where Mortal Kombat is held. You kind of get teleported to different locations, and that's where everyone kind of meets up and fights. Both people get teleported to one spot. I think they did this a lot to kind of save on money, because there's a lot of regurgitation of the sets. They keep ending up in the same sets a bunch of times throughout the movie, which, I think it's fine. I think they use the money and the budget towards more important things, like the action and the special effects and all that stuff. I think it was a better use of money. I'm fine with it being in a different, only a couple of different locations. I think that's pretty chill. But the first fight we get is Katana versus Johnny Cage. And that was a pretty good fight too, but you can see that Johnny Cage, like, his heart's not in it. He's not fighting well. Katana's beating the absolute shit out of him, as she probably would. I think in this universe, it completely makes sense. So, if he fucking loses and Katana beats the shit out of him, and, obviously Katana spares him. She spares his life, because you don't actually have to kill them. They even mentioned that it's at the discretion of the winner if they want to take somebody's life. They don't have to consider it a win. So, she lets him live. And then immediately right after that, when he's getting bandaged up and everything from the fight, is when she teleports to Raiden's temple, and that's when they explain that she's a good guy and, asked to save Jade, because Jade, her BFF, also loyal to Shao Kahn, is going to be fighting somebody, so they just want to, spare her life, or at least not make her suffer for it. So that's fine. But this was overall really good fucking movie. It was a really good sequel. I definitely think it was better than the first in a lot of aspects, but like I said, some of the negative things I'm going to kind of get into now. So one, they spent the whole first movie setting up Cole as the main character, played by Lewis Tan, who I absolutely adore. And I think he was good. I didn't understand the hate that everyone had for him. I think it was stupid. I understand why they would kind of make a new character for this kind of movie, because he even said it himself, where like, you know, everyone else has favorites, so they may make one character that, you know, the main character, but somebody else is like, no, like, this character's my favorite. I wish it would have been about them. And I understand why they made a new character, because then you kind of solve that problem. But people weren't happy about it, so they went and corrected it, so to speak, in this movie. I think he only has 3 minutes of screen time in this entire movie, because his first fight is against Shao Kahn, and moments before. So I'm going to backtrack just a little bit here, just because I don't want to talk about it too long, because we have a lot to talk about today. One of the main things that Shao Kahn is doing is going after this amulet, which we actually saw in the first movie. It was the amulet that Kano steals in Raiden's temple when they first get there, and, you know, Liu Kang's like, now put that back, blah blah, that kind of thing. They're looking for that because that is Shinnok's amulet, which will make him immortal, which I don't think he needed it to be. I think they kind of should have just made him be that tough without it, even because he is like, he wins every fight he goes in, but they decided to make him completely immortal, which I think is a dumb idea, but it kind of plays out into this movie a little bit. I think it's going to set up something further with the amulet. I don't know. We'll fucking see. But they bring Kano's dead body to Outworld and resurrect him, and then get it from him. They also brought back Kung Lao, but he's like he's like an undead servant, with the, you know, he's got the black eyes and he's being controlled and all that stuff. So he's not a good guy, but they're like, oh, you know what, fucking Kano's bad anyway. He's not much of a conscience or soul to save, so Quan Chi doesn't bring him back as a slave. They just bring him back as normal and stuff. So really funny, good to have him back. He definitely is one of like the highlights of this movie as well. He steals pretty much every scene that he's in, and he's in this a lot. He is definitely one of the main characters once he gets involved in it. It takes a while to kind of throw him into the midst of it, but he does become a main character. But anyway, they get it. They get the thing from Kano, and they have to charge it with something powerful, so they go after Raiden. So they go to his temple and, you know, slice his throat, steal his energy, take it back to Outworld, and put it in Shao Kahn. Now he has the energy. He's powered by the amulet. He's immortal. Bam. We're caught up. And then so him and Cole fight in, which is obviously a setup for a shot for a video game level. And Cole gets absolutely fucking rocked. He would have won, to be fair, if fucking Shao Kahn didn't have that amulet. Cole could have probably won, because he slices his throat or whatever, but then it just instantly heals, and then Cole gets his shit rocked, and then Shao Kahn gets him on the ground, and splat goes his fucking head clean off with his Shao Kahn's hammer. You know, no head though. And then he kicks him into a acid pit, and that's the end of Cole. He gets killed fucking immediately. I don't think that was a good idea. Like I said, I like Lewis Tan. I like the character of Cole Young. I think they could have salvaged him, which I think they still will, but that's more towards the end. So I'll fucking get there. All right, bud, don't rush me. All right, this is my show. Okay, I'll get there. So Liu Kang and Kung Lao fight, the zombie Kung Lao, which was I think my favorite fight scene in this movie, because both Max Hong, I hope I said his name right. I'm just gonna say he's just Max. He's fucking Max, and Ludi Lin as Liu Kang are both really good like martial artists outside of the movie. So you can tell that they are the most kind of experienced, besides I think, you know, like Joe Taslim and Hirioku, who plays Scorpion, I think you can tell that they're kind of like the most experienced with fighting. So they fucking fight, and it is awesome. Obviously, fucking Liu Kang wins, and he kills Kung Lao fucking brutally. So now Kung Lao has died in both movies, and good for him. He's got the record so far of fucking lives taken, so put 2 on the board for him. I'm getting into way too much detail here, but yeah, there's a lot of good fight scenes in it. Karl Urban is good as this version of Johnny Cage. If they would have went for the more on top of his game and the big Hollywood star, I don't know if he would have fit in that as well, but he's really good in this kind of washed up, broken kind of thing. So, and throughout the movie, he kind of gains his confidence and he unleashes kind of the fighter that he is, because early on in the movie, when they first meet, Sonya and him are having a conversation, which they didn't actually push the Sonya and Johnny Cage love thing. They met and like were pretty cordial with each other, but like there's like no romance stuff or anything. So I don't know if they're going to get to that in this universe. Maybe in the next movie, we'll see. But in this one, they didn't even touch on it, which I think is a better call. Otherwise, it would just feel too forced. But she even says to him that you have all these black belts and you were one of the best fighters in the world before you went to Hollywood and everything. Like, and he's like, that guy's gone. He finds that guy. He fucking finds him. And then once I think it comes out really when he has to fight Baraka, because Baraka is really funny in this. Him and Johnny Cage and Baraka have really good scenes together. Their chemistry and like comedy in this movie were really fucking good. They had really good back and forth. Their fight scene was really fun too, because they're kind of just messing with each other at one point. We saw it in the trailer where he's just like, they're swinging their arms at each other and Baraka's like, what the fuck? Really funny. I like their dynamic. I hope they get back into it in the third movie, which I do think they will, because they don't kill Baraka. Johnny Cage wins their fight. But yeah, no, they're really funny. Definitely. I love their dynamic. So hopefully we do get more of them. I'm just gonna fucking shoot into who dies, because a lot of people die in this movie. So like I said, we already got Cole Young. He dies. Kung Lao, returns briefly and then gets fucking murdered again. One that surprised me was Jax, though. I didn't expect Jax to get murdered by Shao Kahn kind of towards the end. They're trying to destroy the amulet. He didn't. Yeah, no, I didn't expect him to get fucking killed, but he got a hammer through the neck, and there's not really much coming back from that. Right. Sonya, she kills the Revenant Sindel, but then not Shang-Chi. That's a completely different universe, all right? That's a different movie. It's a different movie, man. Quan Chi brings her back as a Revenant again, so, she's back. He's back. Kano flips. Kano becomes a good guy, man. And he does a lot of stuff with Johnny Cage, like, pretty much, yeah. Kano fucking killed it in this movie. He was really funny. He brought, he decides, hey, I don't want fucking Earth to become Outworld. Outworld sucks, man. So he joins everyone else and works to defeat him. They need to get the amulet, which is kind of the main plot point. They need to get the amulet so that they can make him mortal and then kill him again. So they're on to this. They give it to Sub-Zero, aka Noob Saibot. I don't know if I said that right. I don't remember if that's how you say it, but I don't care. All right, fucking get over it. Who's played by the ever wonderful Joe Taslim, but we don't see him all that much. He only has like one big scene at the end when they're in the underworld in, oh god, what's it fucking called in this realm? Realm, fucking whatever, dude. In hell, we'll just say that. So they go and hide it in there because they know they can't get there and it's gonna be harder to find it. But Raiden fucking, he's got a little bit of power in him. He's not dead yet. He sends them there, and then that's when we get them bringing in Scorpion to hunt him down and get the amulet, because Scorpion doesn't know that he's in the underworld. He doesn't realize that he's there right now, and he just wants to absolutely fucking rock his shit. So he fucking goes and gets him, and they fight, and then they destroy it, and then, you know, there's a huge fight with fucking Liu Kang, Sonya, Shao Kahn, Johnny Cage, and Katana. And this is kind of when Katana steps out, because they believe Shao Kahn wins and everything like that. But then Katana is like, no, I fight for Earthrealm. I'm renouncing you, all this shit, blah, blah, blah. So then she becomes the final fighter against Shao Kahn, and to, you know, put the shit to bed. Katana versus Shao Kahn was really fucking awesome. That was a really good fight. Like I said, Katana is definitely one of the better characters in this movie. She was really good in it. Her fight scenes were good. I loved it. Great addition. Great actress. Papa John's. So yeah, she kills Shao Kahn, and then oh, I forgot to mention one. Fucking Liu Kang kind of dies, but not really. He's definitely gonna ascend and become the fire god, because instead of dying, he kind of turns into like a phoenix kind of thing and flies away, and then he's gone. He's talking about bringing Kung Lao back, so we'll see what happens. He's definitely coming back. All of them are gonna come back. I hoping they bring back Cole, but I don't know if they can. But maybe they have a different plan for him, like people saying like he should be Kenshi, or he should be, I can't remember his name, but there's like other characters that they want him to be. And then so the last scene we get, we meet up with Johnny Cage with Baraka, because Baraka helped him, and they're pretty chill. And Johnny Cage said he would come back and teach him his ways and stuff like that. So they're sitting around a fire just shooting the shit, telling stories, all that stuff. And everyone shows up, and they have Quan Chi, and they're like, hey, let's go get our friends and bring them back. And that's where we go. That's where it ends. So it was good. I really liked it. Not a perfect movie, but definitely a step in the right direction for a Mortal Kombat movie. And I know work has already started on the third, and this has already made past its budget back at the time of this recording. I think it's made over, at the time of this, it's made over $101.2 million. So that's pretty good. The budget was 80, so it hasn't quite made the full budget back yet, but it is definitely successful. So I know they're starting work on the third movie, so I'm pretty confident there is going to be a third one, which is fucking awesome. A lot of people described this sequel as like closer to the spirit of the classic games and like the original 1995 movie, which I think is really, really fair to say. It's fucking brutal, and we actually get the tournament. Like, it's the first thing that fucking happens. Like, it's immediate. Fucking loved it. I definitely think we're at least going to be able to finish the trilogy. Beyond that, we might get more, because I know like they said like there's kind of ideas of what they could do for like 4, 5, and 6, but there's a lot of lore that can be covered in this universe, because there's so many fucking games, and it's been around for so long that there's a lot that they could touch on and bring into the live action. So like the possibilities are fucking endless. So let's hope we get a third one. I'm excited. I would give it probably like an 8 or 9 out of 10. I'm can't wait for it to come out for home release so I can watch it again. But I've talked about this for fucking too long, bud. So we're gonna move on to The Punisher: One Last Kill. What a fucking great way to bring Frank Castle back after Daredevil Born Again season 1, because he didn't show up in season 2 like a lot of people. You know, and myself, you know, I'm one of those people was hoping that he would come back, but it doesn't happen. But it's because he's doing this. This is what happens. So it's starts off a little bit different. So this is only about 44 minutes long. It's very short. It's just like an episode of something. So it's not like a huge movie or anything. But it starts with Frank living alone in like a rundown apartment in New York after wiping out the last like criminal organization that was connected to his family's murder. So he's done being the Punisher. He locked away all of his armor. He's getting fucking drunk all the time. He's heavily drinking. He doesn't talk very much, and he's very suicidal because one part in there he's prepared to kill himself. He's at his family's grave and he has a gun to his head and he's about to pull a trigger, but he stops after hallucinating his daughter, and instead of giving him peace, he gets even angrier because he realizes that him being the Punisher, him going after that revenge and doing all of this, everything that's led him here, it didn't heal him. It didn't make him feel better. It didn't fill that hole that was caused by them dying. And it was a really good, like, emotional story at first. It really gets into like his psychological collapse. And then we eventually do get a rebirth of him as the Punisher, because this is like the bridge between Daredevil Born Again season 2 and his upcoming appearance in the next Spider-Man. So this is kind of like the bridge between those. We also get glimpses of different hallucinations. We see his wife, we see his daughter, we see Curtis showing up a couple of times in a vision, we see Karen. He's not even sure a lot of the time if they are real, because he's, Karen is there and he's like, are you really here? Like, is this really you? And you can't tell reality from his hallucination anymore. It's very leaning into like his PTSD, his like survivor's guilt, and his emotional isolation. John Bernthal described Frank as like spiraling out of control and searching for meaning beyond his revenge, which definitely is accurate, and it's kind of how it starts. So he's, he decides he's not going to kill himself, and so he's heading home, and then a woman in a wheelchair shows up outside of his apartment building, and it turns out Frank murdered her husband and son. No, I don't know if it's her husband as well. Yeah, her husband and son. So she wants revenge on Frank for what he did. So she places a massive bounty on him and says, at this time, everyone's coming here. And this is kind of where it really kicks off, because once the action starts, it doesn't really stop. It's definitely giving a like the Raid kind of vibe, where it's in a building and Frank's trying to fight everyone and get out of it. Everyone's going up trying to find Frank and kill him. So it's definitely kind of along those lines. Not exactly, but like pretty close to it. But once the timer hits, gang members, assassin, mercenaries, and like random criminals all descend on the apartment building trying to kill Frank. He initially like decides he doesn't want to suit up as a Punisher. He fights in like plain clothes and using whatever he can find. He uses knives, he steals people's pistols, he takes broken furniture, and like he improvises traps and everything like that. And it's fucking violent and brutal and gory and just like pure adrenaline Punisher fuel, you know what I mean? Like, it bringing us back to how he was on his show and how he was in Daredevil season 2 on Netflix when we first meet him, where he's just fucking super violent and just does not give a fuck. Like, he starts coming out of his shell, man. We start getting the Punisher growing like a little weed, and then bam, 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 and then fucking kills everybody. He fucking kills everybody while trying to save everybody. We kind of met a few of his tenants early on, but they're not really like main characters. But he's fighting to save everybody who is innocent, and he doesn't want them to die for something that he did. So he's prioritizing saving all of them. And you know what? It kind of brings him back. This is what kind of brings him out of his shell. Is he's not fighting for revenge anymore. He is fighting and killing to actually protect innocent people. Instead of it being about him, it's not about him anymore. It's like the entire point of the special. The Punisher stops being like purely about vengeance and becomes about protection. It was really good. It was, like I said, it was only about 44 minutes long, and it was really good little segue and story. I know a lot of people are fucking complaining about, you know, Frank being super emotional, but I think that's the point. That's exactly what the point of this is it's not just a shoot 'em up. He's got depth. He's not just like an angry dude. He is a person underneath the Punisher suit. But near the end, Frank retrieves the key that he had for his hidden weapons locker, and this is like symbolic. Like, he's accepting, like, this is who he is. He is the Punisher. He puts the skull armor back on, and he fully unleashes himself. And it's awesome. It was really good. So the last person that he kind of kills is, he kind of goes into the street, and, you know, there's a whole bunch of fucking shit going on. A lot of criminals out there have been attacking people throughout the episode. They originally started off with grabbing a homeless man's dog and killing it and throwing it in front of a car and stuff like that. And Frank sees these same guys doing the same shit to somebody. And so Frank just fucking beats the shit out of him and then throws him to the ground, pulls out a gun, and fucking, it's a shot in the trailer where he's got the suit on and he's aiming down at somebody and he pulls the trigger. That's the final scene of it. And I feel like Spider-Man is going to kick off like right after this. I think that's exactly when Spider-Man is going to happen. It's going to be really soon after the events of this. Like, I wouldn't even be surprised if it's like the same fucking day or something. But no, it was really good. Really, it wasn't just one-dimensional is what I liked about it. John Bernthal really gives a good fucking performance in a short period of time, and I know he helped create this and direct it, and this is like his baby, because I mean he is the Punisher. He knows the character in and out, and he's the kind of guy who can handle the dark and broody with the emotional. He's definitely the best actor for that, and I love it. I think I want more of these like one-off specials, because we've only had like a couple of them, and I know there are some more coming out, but there's very few of them, and so I'm really excited to see more Punisher. Hopefully he gets his own show after Spider-Man, or they have like a bigger picture for him, because I don't know if I feel like he's going to be a major part in Spider-Man, but then he's going to kind of join like the bigger MCU as well. I hope Daredevil is in Spider-Man, but we're going to get into more Spider-Man stuff closer to the release, so we're not going to talk about it yet. We're not fucking doing it yet. Okay, we're going to move on to Good Omens, which was season 3, aka the series finale, which instead of a season, it's not a season, it's just like an hour and a half movie to tie up the loose ends and end the story. And honestly, it's about essentially one thing. It's that Aziraphale and Crowley are, you know, they're choosing each other. They're choosing their bond and their connection over hell, heaven, or God's great plan. Because basically what happens is they want to bring on, Heaven originally had a plan to bring on the end of the world. They want to have the second coming of Jesus. And, you know, and then he's going to come to Earth, and there's going to be the big war, and then they're going to wipe out most of humanity and start again. And Aziraphale doesn't want to do this. He's the supreme archangel in heaven. He's kind of running the show. He's leading the charge. And even when they start talking about Armageddon and everything like that, Aziraphale thinks, no, what if we don't do that? What if we, you know, save people and make them happy instead of, you know, making it the end times? Let's make people finally have the life that they should have, which is very on brand for him. He just wants everyone to be happy and enjoy life, and then come to heaven when it's done. Like, that's all he wants. That's all he fucking wants. God is nowhere to be found. You know, shit's going crazy. No one knows what's fucking going on. Crowley is just alone back near the bookshop. He is like a completely kind of broken demon, because Aziraphale, remember, it's the end of season 2, he chose heaven over Crowley's offer to just leave together. Crowley spends like the opening scenes depressed. He's isolated. He's wandering through London without a real purpose. He loses his car to a gangster, which becomes like a thing. I'll kind of get into that in a little bit, but yeah, he loses his car. He doesn't even have his car. He's just sleeping in an alleyway, and he's not doing great. So Aziraphale's in heaven, and like I said, he doesn't want to launch the apocalypse again to bring Jesus back. He thinks he could reform heaven from the inside, but he realizes that the apocalypse is always going to happen unless he rebels against heaven, because that's their fucking plan. So basically what happens is, I'm just going to say who it is. Michael, the Archangel, becoming like an authoritarian kind of thing. They gain control of the Book of Life, which in this is like the basically the ultimate divine weapon that can erase existence itself. Everything about the universe, about every little thing is written in this book. That's how it exists. It's in this book. We see them do it. They start ripping out pages and destroying them, wiping out and killing angels, and just getting rid of entire countries. So heaven's bureaucracy kind of collapses into a panic. Angels begin turning on each other. Hell descends into chaos because they're like, oh fuck, like something's going on. Heaven's losing their shit, and reality itself is just getting destroyed all over the place. Jesus is in the modern day Earth, but he's very human. He doesn't completely remember what happened, or what he's supposed to do. He doesn't remember. He doesn't know he was in heaven. He just kind of slowly starts remembering the things that he did when he was alive originally. So instead of becoming like a conqueror of like messianic kind of proportions, he's confused, he's exhausted, he doesn't know what heaven wants from him. I did see that critics did say they treat him more like a wandering philosopher than like this religious icon, which is good, because like he just kind of walks around. He wants to meet people, he wants to help them, he wants to make them feel better, help them with their problems, give them wisdom. So he meets somebody who starts helping him do that, and just chilling around on Earth, and it's really good. They did Jesus pretty good in this, I gotta say. I know people aren't happy about it, but hey, I think it was really good. Jesus on Earth is kind of important because it reinforces the central message of the series, which we were seeing a lot with Aziraphale and Jesus and heaven and everything, that humanity matters more than what like the cosmic system. So heaven and hell, they matter more than what they want. So Aziraphale needs help to find who's killing everyone, to find Jesus, to get the Book of Life, all of that stuff. So he goes to Crowley. At first he doesn't want to help him, but then he offers to get his car back from the gangster, and so they go and meet up with him. And it's good to see Sean Pertwee. If you don't know who he is the son of one of the doctors. So we have some more Doctor Who royalty up in here, and he was also Alfred on Gotham. So the dude's been around the block a little bit. He plays the gangster. He's really good in this too. He's charming. He pulls off the part really good. He's not like a main character, but he was enjoyable. I was like seeing him on the screen, so it was pretty good. So they challenge him to a game of chance, which is kind of how Crowley lost the car in the first place, because he's a fucking betting man. All right, he bet and he lost. He fucking lost, bud. They played Monopoly, and he lost to that, so he lost the car. And so Aziraphale challenges him to a crossword puzzle solving for ownership of the car. So they sign a contract, all this stuff to make it official, and of course, like, they win and get the car back, and then they are driving around looking for Jesus. And then from there, Crowley starts helping him figure out what's going on, to find Michael, to find the Book of Life, to stop kind of the undoing of reality itself. They go to heaven. It must have been weird for Crowley to be back up in heaven. Even everyone else is like, he shouldn't be here. But no. David Tennant, fucking charming and hilarious as always. I'll pretty much watch anything with him in it. I think he is fucking amazing. And Yeah, I'll watch pretty much anything with David Tennant in it. He is fucking amazing. Him and Martin Sheen are always a treat together. I love seeing those guys together, from their actual friendship to staged. I love them. I so happy to see them together on my TV again, because I can never get enough. They're working together. They're finding out what's going on, and then they kind of know where everyone, like where Michael is with the book, because they are like, okay, well, the only place the pages could be really completely destroyed is in the what's it called, the pillars of creation, where the eternal flame, which is preserving where everything started, where the universe started. So they know what's going there, so they hop in the car, they fucking fly through space faster than light speed, but all this whole time, reality is collapsing. It's all disappearing. Everything is gone. And so what happens is they know they can't stop it. They know everything's gonna be gone. So they grab a piece of the book, which just happens to be the bookstore. That's right. The bookshop fucking plays a big part in this. So universe is destroyed. Reality is gone outside of the bookshop. Everything is gone. So it's just them. They don't have books. They don't really, all they have is each other, which again, core theme of this entire show is them two being together. So they're just ready to spend eternity together. But then they come up with an idea. What if they could make God come to them? Whoa. So they kind of put it in a book and start writing it down, and bam, Lucifer shows up. That's right. Lucifer. The fallen one. The devil himself. But also, we get God. God shows up as well. And God is like, okay, well, we're gonna wipe out the universe. We're just gonna get rid of it. And they're having a moment, they're talking, they're chit-chatting, they're discovering what they want to do, what they can do from there. They want to save everyone, but they're trying to figure out what it is. And this is the key moment of the finale. Rather than saving heaven or hell, Aziraphale and Crowley ask God to create a new universe without heaven and hell, where there is no God, there is no devil. It's just people. A world where free will is true. There's no destiny. There's just free will, and they're not manipulated by what heaven or hell wants. To make this happen, they have to sacrifice themselves. They even say, like, you'll never see each other again and all this stuff, and they're like, we know, and they're holding hands, and bam, reality's gone. This universe is gone. But then we see the Big Bang. We see a new universe, a simpler universe, where there is none of this cosmic bullshit. All right. And then it goes to the now times, and it turns out that Crowley and Aziraphale exist, but they're mortals in this recreated universe. They're just people. And for the first time in 6,000 years since the creation of the last universe, they're free. Obviously, they do not know who each other are, who they were in the previous universe, because it didn't exist. It just didn't exist. But Aziraphale still working in a bookshop, which is awesome, on brand. We love it. And then that's when Crowley shows up, asking for a book, like fate intervened. That fucking God, always up to something. Asked for a book, and then it's his own book about the Big Bang and the birth of the universe. And they like each other, and they end up going out for dinner, going on a date. Guess what, guys? They fucking end up together. They become a true couple. They live together, and we see them grow old they spend their lives together, and it was so cute. And I think that was probably the best ending I think they could have given it, because they had, you know, they had to get together. I know it was, the 90-minute runtime was really rushed, and kind of, there were some parts that were underdeveloped, but I understand why they wanted to just finish it, because of, you know, the shit with Neil Gaiman. So I get it, but at least we did get a definitive ending. And it was good. I enjoyed it. I will miss that show. I think it was really good start to finish. And again, like I said, David Tennant, Martin Sheen, always gonna fucking watch them. Fucking love them. They're fucking great, bud. All right, so the last thing I want to talk about today is the breakdown of the Lanterns second teaser that came out on the 18th. So we actually get to see a lot more of kind of the actual cosmic and Green Lantern stuff. This is definitely DC Studios responding directly to the like fan criticism of the first one. They get into the ring constructs, the space travel. We get a glimpse of Green Lantern suits. We get some more cosmic shit in multiple Lantern Corps member, because we see fucking Nathan Fillion. We already knew he's in it, but we actually get to take a look at him. So it's basically kind of what happens is Hal Jordan is training Jon Stewart to investigate a shooting in Nebraska. So this story is actually following two timelines, apparently, 2016 and then 2026. Originally 2016 is when Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart are investigating the shooting, like I said, and then 2026, something much larger and cosmic is happening after the events of Superman. So they're gonna tie into each other. What I think is gonna happen is Kyle Chandler, who plays Hal Jordan, he's older, he's exhausted, he's very cynical, he's basically being forced into retirement and being taken over by Jon Stewart. Basically, I know that people have said, and I think it says in here where Hal was chosen by the Ring to actually be a Green Lantern, where Jon Stewart was chosen by the Guardians, and forcing him into the role, which is why there is kind of two Green Lanterns and why he's teaching him. He's being forced out of it. So I don't think we're gonna get too much of Hal Jordan in this new DCU. I feel like he's gonna be pushed out after this season, and that's when Jon Stewart's gonna take over. We didn't see Jon Stewart in his outfit, in his Green Lantern suit, but we did see Hal Jordan, and of course it's old and it's faded, which is why it's like that brown color rather than green that we saw in the first trailer that people were complaining about. But I think I saw a thing where Hal was in a coma or something, which is why it is faded and wasn't taken care of, is because he just couldn't, something like that. I don't know if that is true. Of course, we don't understand or know much about it yet, since it was just a teaser, but it comes out this year. It comes out in August, so I'm pretty hyped to see it. I think it's going to be really good. I do think Jon Stewart is going to be a good kind of taking over, because I don't necessarily think we need Hal Jordan to be the Green Lantern in this universe. We already had, you know, it's always about Hal. Let's get some more Jon Stewart action. And I think Aaron Pierre is going to be really good in this role, because he is a really good actor. I actually really like him. I didn't know who he really was until it was announced he was in this, so I started kind of watching his other stuff, and like Rebel Ridge is a really good movie with him in it. He's really good in that. I definitely recommend watching that if you have not yet. It's a really fucking good movie. Yeah, we don't know too much. We know that fucking Hal, you know, is sick of the Green Lantern Corps and all this shit. And then we get a look at Sinestro, which I knew he was going to be in this. They did announce that Sinestro's in this. So we're finally going to get some Sinestro up in here, and hopefully it's good. I think they need to kind of nail him, although I wish they could have brought back Mark Strong to play him, because I think he was a really good Sinestro. It was just wasted on the Green Lantern movie. But hey, you know what? It is what it is. There was also someone else I saw that they said he should be Sinestro, but I can't remember who it was. This is gonna fucking drive me crazy. If I remember it when I'm editing, I'll throw it in. Yeah, there's like lots of stuff that kind of apparently shows that Sinestro is connected to the kind of central mystery. It may have already corrupted parts of the core, which, you know, it may be Sinestro coming to Earth or something like that and causing some issues, which could lead to the battle that in 2016 that could lead to Hal being in a coma until the current day. So we'll find out later this year. We do see a brief appearance of Guy Gardner, played by Nathan Fillion. He's not much in it, but it's kind of a connection between this and the bigger DCU and all of that stuff. So we get a lot of like glimpses of everything, but it's gonna be fucking cool. I think it's gonna be great fucking show. I can't wait to watch it. I'm definitely gonna be covering that when it comes out, so make sure keep your ears pointed at the ground waiting for that. But thank you for listening or watching or whatever it is you do. I don't know. I'm not your mom, all right? We are currently available on all major streaming platforms, so if you like video, you got it. If you just want your ears to be tickled a little bit, I got you too. You can just listen to it on Spotify, on Apple Music, on fucking Amazon. You can listen to all of it on there for free. And coming up this week as well, I am going to be joined by my friend Alfie Beat, and we watched the 1995 Mortal Kombat, and trust me, it was a really fun episode, and I think you guys are going to really like it. But thank you for listening, and I'll see you later, cuties.